Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm Gamesplaining Orléans. If you watched the first video, you would have seen how Orléans is set up and played. I'm now going to have a playthrough. I've set it up for two players, the yellow and the green. Yellow is start player, and I've already turned over the hourglass to reveal the pilgrim tile, which is always the first tile. The rest of them are in random order. If there's any rules that I missed, I'm sure I'll pick them up on the way through this time. So to start with, the yellow is going to set those two, and he actually likes what he did in the first video of the idea of grabbing the knight really early on. Brown's going to go straight for the university because he knows that by having a grey chit, that's going to allow him to get into the monastery next turn. You don't start the game with a grey chit at all. And he's going to hang... Oh, no. And he knows the need for a farmer, so he'll throw that one over to the farmhouse to start with, so that he has that option to get the farmer next turn. Okay, and then we come to the actual actioning of the things. So yellow will put those two and a farmer into his bag, move along the track and take a grain resource. Green will take those three and the grey chit, move along that track and move his green marker along the scriptorium. They go back into the bag as well. Neither of them have any more they're able to do, so they'll both stop there. There's nothing else needs to happen with the event, so we swap first player. Once they've swapped start player, we flip over and reveal the next event. The event that's going to happen is the harvest, so that will cost, each player will need to pay 1 grain of harvest, or if they don't have that grain, they're going to have to pay 5 coins. So it's worthwhile making sure that both players have grabbed at least 1 resource to be able to pay that harvest fee. At the beginning of the second round, yellow is further ahead on the farm track. This is a rule that I forgot to mention in the first video. Whoever's furthest ahead will gain 1 coin. So they start with 5. He gains 1 coin because he's further ahead. If you're playing more than a 2-player game, if there's 1 player who is further behind, they will pay 1 coin to the bank. So this farm track is actually quite important. And each of them will take 4, if they've got 4, out of their bag. So yellow is left with those 3, and green gets to grab all 4. So as green is first player, so I'll place his first. Green wants a monk, so he heads up to the monastery. He can get a farmhouse on this turn as well, and he might throw that up to the castle so he can move along the castle line fairly quickly. Yellow is going to fulfill this one up at the castle. He's left with a brown and a white. It'd be worthwhile him going for a monk, or for a university to be able to get a monk fairly soon, so he'll go there. Okay, green will now fulfill his action, so he'll start with grabbing the monk. So all 3 of those go into the bag. Yellow will then fulfill the castle, so he grabs a red one and moves his thing across. He's now able to to pull out 5 chits along the bottom here. Okay, and green will trade in the brown and the blue for a farmer, and that will bring him up to even on the farm track. So he takes his wheat resource, or grain resource should I say, and those go into the bag. Yellow doesn't have anything else he can do, so he'll pass. Green so green will pass now. Now we fulfill the event, which is pay a resource. Both of them are going to pay a wheat. The start player marker swaps hands again. The event that will happen at the end of this turn is income. Income comes from being further along this line. So if you're not past this 2, you're not going to get any income this particular turn. So yellow is going to be drawing 5 4. He only has 4 in his bag, so he can only grab 4 this time. But if he had a 5th one in there, he'd be able to fill that up. And green takes 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow really needs to get that grey guy, so he's going to go for that. Actually, yellow's going to go and plant a guild hall. And with his black, blue and white, he can get another castle, so he'll be able to grab more guys out. Green didn't manage to pull the black guy this time, but what he can do is use the monk instead of a black guy here to grab another monastery, and he'll throw those 2 over into that area so he can get another farmer. Okay, and moving into actioning it. So yellow will start with the guild hall, so take those 3 off and put them back in the bag, and he will place his guild hall up at Orléans. Green will grab another farmer and move further along that track and take the wheat. So green adds his resource, and those 3 go back in the bag. Comes back over to yellow's turn. Yellow is gone to the castle, so he'll take those 3 off the board, grab another red guy, and push further along. So he's now able to pull out 6 guys from the bag. That goes back in. And green is trading those, well, gaining a monk because of those 2. Now you'll notice that this white guy's been sitting up here. Once he's been placed, you're not allowed to move him until he actually actions a space. So green's sitting with a farmer just sitting up there waiting to do something. We get to the end of that round, and the event happens. No one has managed to pass the 2 along, so no one gets any income from this round. Then we start the next round. The event for the end of this round will be a plague. What happens on a plague is one of the chits in your bag will be taken out and removed as dying of the plague, unless they are of your own personal player colour. You can't ever kill off one of your personal player colour guys. Green will be start player. Green is further along this track, so he will get 1. Green is still sitting on 4, so he'll only grab 4 out of the bag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow is sitting on 6, so he'll grab 6 out of the bag. 1, 5, and 6. Okay, green. Can't do a whole bunch with this. Those whites are killing him a little bit. Okay, so he's going to just go and grab another monk. And he might actually place these whites to be able to just use them when they come up, so he can keep turning out the full number of workers. Yellow has more that he's able to do. So yellow, white, black, and red. He'll go by wagon, by road up there to move around. I can grab one of the other villages with yellow as well. That'll work out. Okay, so green is first player, so he will trade his 2 guys in for a monk, and nothing else really happens for green. Yellow will trade these 3 in for one of the brown ones, which gives him this innovation token, which he'll place at the end of the round, and he also pushes his marker along 1. Green can't do any more, so he'll pass, which makes yellow able to move, so he will move along this road to grab the wool resource, and he'll be able to now drop another guild hall at a later stage. First innovation that you're able to do has to cover up a farmer, has to cover up one of the white guys. So he might actually start chasing this and cover up a farmer just there. Okay, the event now happens. Green, out of his bag, will grab 1, and he has grabbed one of the green ones, so that's his own. You cannot kill your own. So he goes back. Yellow, out of his bag, will grab 1, and he has unfortunately grabbed a knight, which sends that knight back to the pile. You don't change where you are on the line, you're just 1 chit less than you normally would be. Okay, first player changes hands. Green takes another coin because he's still further along on the farm track. we open up the next event, which is attacks, and that you're going to pay 1 coin for every 3 resource you have at the end of this turn. So in this turn, you don't necessarily want to get resources. If you have 3, you'll pay a coin. If you have 2, you won't pay anything. Yellow will go first, grabbing out 6, followed by green, who still is only grabbing out 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yellow. To start with, he really needs to start moving along the scriptorium line, so he's going to grab that to be able to get a professor back into his line, and he can't move anywhere by ship even though he could fulfill that. He's stuck up on a roadway, so that's no help to him. All he can do is set himself up to do something in a future turn, so he might throw those guys there, to save for later. And you know what, he's doing well with dragging more guys out, so we'll go there. So really he's looking for a brown and a black in his next pull. Green he can do the easy thing, go for a monk, but he really needs to be able to grab more guys out of his bag. So he's going to go for the castle. And he can still go for the monk going that way. Okay, as it's yellow's first turn, he will go for his university line, take a grey, move that, move that. Green's next turn. Okay, and green's turn, he will turn these 2 guys into a monk from their pilgrimage. And these 3 guys will grab a red guy, a knight, and send the red track up 1, so he'll be able to place 5 in future turns. We come to doing the event. Neither of them have 3 resource tokens, so neither of them has to pay for that. We swap sides, and I think you've got an idea of how this game plays. The only thing I haven't done is go to the town hall, but you tend to not go to the town hall until you find that you have too many of the same color coming out of your bag. So it's basically a way to manipulate how much is in your bag. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope this gives you an idea of how Orléans plays and how the whole idea of bag building really runs, if you haven't come across that in other games. If you've got any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to see what games I've been playing at The Gamesplainer. Subscribe to my videos to see what games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.